Well, guys, this is Grimnir back with something very different this time. I'm gonna be showing you how I edit Grimnir's journal videos. So, for this, there are a few things that you require. Number one, a edit software. Could be anything, doesn't matter, but I use Davinci Resolve, which is the one that I've used the most, and I have used Premiere Pro as well. And then I moved over to Davinci because I had an interest in the color correction process as well. And number two, very basic editing skills. I don't do much of a edit to the footage that I've already captured, so a little editing skills also goes a long way. And finally, number three, the most important of all, is you should have a attention span that's more than that of a goldfish. Then so I start off by opening a new project on Davinci. This is Davinci Resolve 16. My system does not run 17 without lagging, so I'm still using 16. And so I started off by opening a new project. This one I've named it a Plague Tale, and then in the media section I add a bin, and since we are now editing a Plague Tale, this is the first time I'm editing for this game, so I make a bin that says part 1, and then I drag the footage from my hard drive. I first drag in the game footage because that will set the frame rate of the project, right? And then this is my camera footage, so I take everything except the first one. I'll tell you why I don't take the first one a bit later on, right? So once the importing is done, I will head over to the edit page, open media pool here, and then I drag and drop the first footage onto the timeline. And then the same for everything, you drag and drop all the footage onto the timeline. This is the game footage. Game footage goes, I like to keep it in video track 1 because it's the base. The game footage is the base. And then on top of that, in video track 2, I start placing my face cam. Voila, that's done. That is the basic setup for the Grimnir thing. And then I like to head out of the bin and then import, of course, the title. The title for Grimnir is right here. So this is just a 1 hour 3 minutes of footage, so which is pretty good for one part, so I won't be splitting it up like I did usually. So now what I like to do is I press the home button here, and then I switch on dynamic project switching. So what this does is it allows me to jump back and forth between two projects. So I'll open Gris, and once Gris is opened up, what I like to do is, since I did the dynamic project switching, I can now change between Gris and the Plague Tale right here. So the first thing I do is I click on one of the footage, face cam footage, press copy after right click, and then I head over back to a Plague Tale. I know there are easier steps to do this, but this is how I edit them. And then here once I come here, I select the face cam footage from here, and I put paste attributes. So I have previously determined what is the size of the face cam that I need. So I put this, and in case I've selected a footage that has some color correction, just to be on the safer side, I get rid of the retime thing, and I change the audio as well. I take the audio as well because it's the optimized which I have seen. So there you go. So you get this. What it has done is, it has, let's click the footage and see the changes. So we have transform. In the inspector column, in the transform, we see that the zoom is changed. It is now up at a 0.33 zoom ratio, so that gives this size right here. And then we have the positioning that is here. So I think for this one, since the objective comes here, I will slightly move the footage down, and this we can copy and we can paste it to the others. So then I head over back to Gris and I bring in a few elements that are common in my videos, namely the outline. So this, in video layer 3, this is the outline. So I'll just copy that first, the outline. Then we have the pop-up text, that is my mind voice kind of thing. Wait, let me just head to part 2 in Gris. So as I was saying, I select this one and I select this one and I select these two, and the final, my Instagram information, and then I hit the copy, Ctrl C, and head over back to a plague tale. Then I hit the Ctrl V here, and sometimes it doesn't respond, so you hit the paste. There you go. So this is here, and since I moved this footage down, this is the border. So I will go to video, I'll select this, go to video, and then go slightly down. There we go. So we now have the border for the whole thing. And then let me now tell you how I made that border. It isn't much of an effort. You just go to FX library, take the text, title text, and put it right here on the thumbnail, on the timeline, and then you go down to background. So hit the background, and then we have width, which determines this background width. So that determines the size of this thing, and I made opacity 0, so there's nothing in between, so it acts as a border. Then we can set the height and the width as per the video size. And then I like to go to color, and for this one I will go with a slightly red, darker red maybe, or something from the video, darker kind of red to signify blood. I don't know, something. This is just to separate the video from the face cam from the actual gameplay video. So that color is done. It sets the color. I mean, I might change it later on. It depends on as I'm going through the footage. If something strikes my head, I just go for it. Then then the next step that I like to do is head over to Fairlight, which is the sound control, and then I rename this audio track 1 as a plague tale and audio track 2 as my Grimnir footage. So then what I like to do is head over to dynamics of audio track 1. So audio track 1 is a plague tale. So what I first do is hit the option limiter, and then slightly boost it up a bit. So what limiter does is it cuts the top level, so the game sound is not too loud in this thing. I hit the limiter, and then I can increase the threshold just a bit, so all the too high sounds are not lost in this limiter. Then I hit a compressor. So what this does is it brings the whole sound range within a reasonable amount, so there's not too many highs or too many lows, so it brings it all together. Then I like to mess with the ratio as well. And then here in the side chain I hit listen. So once I will tell you what that does. So next I head over to dynamic range 2, dynamics of audio 2, and here again I hit the limiter, but since it's my voice I increase the thing a bit because the voice is a bit important. And here we have it. And then I hit the compressor just like I did in the previous one, and what I do here is I press send. So what this does basically is, when this audio from this track is playing, the other track that is in the listen mode will become slightly lower, so my voice will play over the gameplay sound. Then I like to use gate. So what gate does is it filters out most of the background noise unless it's really close to the mic. So yeah, so this is my audio settings. And then I like to import a few of the common sound effects that I use, like ding. So I like to use them when I'm like adding in the Grimnir voiceover kind of segments. So then we head over to the start, and what I do is I look at the waveform of the game footage. What is going on, guys? So I start talking here, so then I trim this to this, and this will give a nice little, well, it's stuck. Shit. Yeah, so since my system is old, that is a common occurrence. It's not responding now, so, and it's crashed. Hell yeah. So let me now tell you why I don't use the first footage. So the first footage usually is just me looking at thing and giving random expressions, and these expressions, so these expressions which are over here, see these expressions over here, so I take them into Photoshop and voila, I crop out that expression and make the thumbnail for the video. So this is a Plague Tale Innocence Part 1. I have this me looking all smug and holding a picture of Plague's Tale on my phone, because it's a digital, I have the digital version of this, or I would usually hold the disc. If I had the disc, I would hold the disc, and I have the digital version, so I'm holding the digital here. And then I save, just change the background, and I like to get the font as close as possible to the game font so that it's aesthetically different. So yeah, each game will be a different experience. And then I save this as a PNG, and yeah, when I upload it, I add that as the thumbnail. So then let's open up Resolve again. So the Fairlight bits are saved in place because of the autosave. So what I first do is you can see. What is going on, guys? Starts from there. So a few frames before that, I like to start this, and then this footage will act as a nice little preload to the video starting up.
What is going on, guys? This is Grimnir back.
So if you listen carefully, you can see that my voice,
What is going on?
when my voice plays,
This is Grimnir back with a new game. So
when my voice plays, the background game audio goes down. That is what the function of that compressor.
another one of those games which I know I am pretty late to, and in fact this was the game that was supposed to which I had planned to start the channel off with. This was the game that was supposed to which I had
So then any goof ups of mine like this, I just click right here, use the snap tool and
to start the channel.
Since I'm saying 2 in both the places, I can just chop this footage and it will just be like
to start the channel off with, but then I read an
so my whole persona is that I'm awkward and stuff, so I can keep stuff like this.
that was supposed to start the channel off with.
So that's cue that intro. Now this is something that I've been doing from the last 2 or 3 videos. So when I say cue that intro, I add the cut right after that, and then we quickly move everything
after we cue that intro.
so it'll be an abrupt jump to black. So what I do is I just use this slider
After we
to
cue that intro. After we
fade out the sound.
After we cue
A sound
that
jump
intro.
is way more jarring than a video jump is something that I have experienced, at least. So once that is done, I leave like a 1 second ish gap and drag in the intro, which is, you all know what it is if you have been watching my channel. So once that plays out, I can bring in the rest of the footage. So this, as you see, such a jump. So once again I'm gonna have the sound fade into place. So it says press X here. So that is my cue. I use these cues to keep the footage in sync, the game footage and the face cam. So I'm saying press right here, but as you can see, the video is not yet. This spike in this game footage right over here, that is the press. So now if what I can do is, let me chop out some extra bits from here. So if you press delete, it does a ripple delete and it moves the entire timeline and the clips forward. So I press backspace, which just does a which just does a delete selected and leaves that gap. So now I can move this click sound, and if I zoom in, if I match it to the
Press.
once I say finish saying press, so then I can understand that the footage is more or less in sync. Then as I was doing, I'll do this again.
Confirm.
And you see the confirmers click.
The rats are eating through the bodies like nobody's business, and we'll just confirm this empty slot and jump into this.
Yeah, and I'll once again do some random commentary.
We need subtitles. Yep.
So yeah, that's about it. That's how I edit the footage. Now I'll just go through the whole footage because I like doing that, and I'll go through it completely. And then, or most of the time what I do is I follow the face cam audio, and where there's empty, I just go to the voice bits, and then I can trim it accordingly. Or if there's too much gap and like I feel it's not needed, like all this language thing. So now I can trim out this. Which is not needed, it's just empty space, so I'll just delete that. So here I am using the ripple delete because I wanted to continue.
You can check out the controls in the game itself.
So that was unnecessary banter, so I can even remove this part. So one more reason why I copied the audio from the previous thing, let me go back to Fairlight and show you that in the camera audio, if you go to inspector, I have also used the noise reduction effect from right here in the effects library. And then I toggle the speech mode, and what it does, it removes small hisses and stuff like that, some clicks which are not entirely speech, it just removes them. That is something I do. Then head back to edit.
Subtitles, we need subtitles.
We can just hop into the game, it doesn't everyone knows that I need subtitles. So I'll just jump out of the thing and just remove this, so it's just stuff. So I like to go through the empty spots. If there's some gameplay footage is interesting, I won't remove it.
Stealth action.
So that is how I basically do it. And then I like to, since my camera just records in small chunks of 30 minutes, I like to stop the recording in between sometimes. I have to drop the recording in between sometimes, and then I restart it. So I restarted, and usually I pause the game when I'm stopping the recording. So when I restart the record, I give the cue that is resume game. So if I align this resume game to that, we have synchronized footage. That's how it works. But sometimes I miss out and the video is not entirely in sync, but I try to get it to the best synchronization possible so that my already unnecessary commentary and banter doesn't go completely out of context. So that's about it. That's how I edit. And then once in a while I like to add these Grimnir thoughts kind of thing. So, or this is like some corrections in case I misspeak in the video. I add this as a correction, and then what I like to do in this is I usually try to get it to the font that is similar to the game font. So Trajan Pro is the font that is similar to the game font in the poster for Plague Steel. So I like to get this to just, it just pops up and then goes back up. So in case I want to add a little more impact to that, what I do is I use one of these sound effects, so that I will add that sound effect in another layer and reduce the sound a bit because it will be too loud. And yeah, this is too out of place with this aesthetic, I feel. So we'll go with the swoosh. So since snapping is enabled, I can just snap it to the start of this. It swooshes into place and then it leaves. So yeah, I won't be using that here, of course. Then there are few times when I say some stuff.
I know you're here.
There's no mommy, here you go.
Mother, she'll know.
I don't know what I said there. So this is something that happens. So I'm saying mother here. So I have this another text box which I have designed in one of my older videos. I just paste it there right on that sound, and since I have moved the whole game footage down, I will have to move this one as well. So this also has a like pop in kind of animation which I have done through the zoom keyframe over here. So what I do is select this, go to text, select the same font and reduce the size a bit. And now if I type in mother, if I say mother, it pops in. That's it. That's all I do. And yeah, I do the same thing for the entire video. And then towards the end I add a bit of this. Yeah, I add my social media which I use the most, that is Instagram. So I add that, and I have a little the outro, and usually my game footage ends before the my face footage ends before the game footage. So I just let it play out completely, and then I switch off the camera there. So then it fades, it just cuts to black, or in this case it'll cut to the game footage which is below that, and then I like to fade out the game footage and fade out the game audio, and that's how all my videos end. So that's it, that's how I edit these footages. So hope this was enlightening, and I'll see you with my new videos very shortly. So until then, bye bye.